for the Karaka. Thank you. Thank you. I've got apologies from Tyler Harrison Hunt, Gamal Fuda, Debbie Moira's online. Welcome, Debbie. Are you there? Can you hear?
She's on the.
Yes, I can.
Great, thank you.
We need to see those.
Oh,
Happy
would you
Yeah.
move those apologies? Moved Mark, seconded Sarah. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against, carried. Declarations of interest. Anyone has interest to declare? No, we'll move on. Thank you. Confirmation of previous minutes. Now, we've got some in open and some in public excluded. If you want to discuss the public excluded minutes, we'll have to go into public excluded. But if you're happy to accept them, we can just move them all together and they're accepted. So do I have a mover? Hank to move, seconded Andre. Any discussion? All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against, carried. Now the public forum, and welcome to the people here. We've had quite a grueling meeting on Tuesday, so it's very good of you to attend, and it's a much quieter meeting, hopefully. So the first person to speak is Kirsten Rupp, a local resident who's talking about construction on Eyre Street, Riccarton. In Riccarton, it's by the Chateau on the Park, if Eyre Street is round about there. Okay. Oh, thank you. And 5 minutes. Thank you.
Hopefully it won't take that
long. Thank you.
So I'm Kirsten Rupp. I'm the owner of a house at Riccarton Road, the end towards the park. And there's currently a new development coming up the street after, which is Eyre Street. It's currently in framing stage, so it's not an issue at the moment, but it will be an issue going forward. So that development has a communal bin area proposed right bordering my garden. So there is a clothesline, there is a veggie patch. It's livable space for me. The garden is small. I have less than 4 meters between the house and the fence. So having a number of yellow, green, red bins there is just going to be an issue going forward. I did talk to CCC asking about it and what's been discussed. Unfortunately, during the resource consent, and I saw the resource consent, it's just the volume of rubbish that was assessed, not odor. So odor isn't mentioned in the resource consent. So I went to Mike Rees, the developer, saying, hey, this is going to be an issue going forward. And they said, well, the resource consent has been granted. There's nothing we can do. So I decided to come here and probably have 3 points. One is I couldn't find any proper guidelines how to assess odor or how to make sure that an odor-rich communal bin area won't be put into someone's backyard. So I have found some in Auckland where it says like 5 meters away from livable space. I found Ministry for the Environment saying you should internalize your smells, not putting it into someone else's existing neighbor's backyards. So you have to have your smells in your development, internalize it. So one is like, it'd be good to have better guidelines or have guidelines. I couldn't track them down. I went to ECAN. They sent me back to CCC. I've asked CCC. I didn't get any specific answers. I couldn't find anything in the district plan. So that would be one thing that I think going forward for the future, that would be good. Second thing is the assessment then can be better and actually assessing properly odor. and it could be part of the actual resource consent assessment. So at the moment, the assessment was purely based around volume of rubbish, and there is a condition that it may need to get picked up more than once a week, because the volume is probably going to be more than what the area holds. Not ideal either. And then my issue, it's going to be an issue going forward as soon as there is canals. The only thing I can do is log complaints, which is CCC resources to sort it out, and not part of the resource consent, where it would have been nice to have discussions and have it internalized.
Okay,
That's pretty much
thank you.
what I'm.
And in the volume of work you've done, we don't have anything in the district plan that separates out a house from a large number of houses.
I haven't really seen anything. I Googled it. I looked for communal bin areas. I said, when I Googled it, Auckland popped up, but I couldn't see anything on CCC
Okay,
specifically.
Thank you. Andre.
Well, I guess there's sort of three things here. It'd be good for us to clarify what the rules are or are not.
Yes.
Sorry, Kirsten.
Yes.
Kirsten. If there isn't a rule, it would be good to find out, is that something being considered as part of future changes? And if there's any advice we can get on how's best to approach the immediate issue that you've got coming up.
Yes.
If there's any advice we can give.
Good. Thank you. And Marie, there's a minute left. Thank you.
Just so, you said you didn't find anything about order in the district plan. So I just searched. It is an assessment matter on chapter or rule 6556 on outdoor storage areas. So it has to be assessed by a planner as to the extent to which the materials or goods stored within the setback have an adverse visual effect or generate dust or odor nuisance. So that has to be considered in the.
So the question then is, in the resource consent.
It is an assessment matter that it should be considered.
Yes, but the word odor is not mentioned once.
No, it is.
No, in the.
Oh, in the actual
consent, in the actual
consent.
resource consent,
So
it's not
they
mentioned
missed
once.
it in the assessment.
So I'm like,
What you're
Oh,
saying.
yes.
but I don't think I read those ones, but I don't think they're very precise for you to know. You can go back and saying, hey, this is not 5
Considered.
meters, or there isn't a whatever enclosure that would distract the odor, things like this. I don't think it's
No.
very.
There's no specific rule. It's
Yeah.
just an assessment
Correct.
matter.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So now we've gone over time. Does anyone want to move an extension of time? Thank you, Mark. Seconded, Sarah. Can I ask then, it's an assessment matter, but when this was assessed, it doesn't seem as though it was considered.
I haven't seen that.
So I guess we have a lot of issues for council to ask them, actually. Mark.
Yeah, I was just wondering whether we could get some advice from staff
Advice from staff.
around this, maybe this particular resource consent, and or going forward to make sure it gets checked, or is there
Yes.
something we can tighten up to?
Yes. So basically, can we have information, Faye, about this particular consent? Was odour considered? And can we have clarification as to whether odour should be, whether we should tighten up on the rules re-odour for all residents? Yes.
Kirsten's mentioned that Auckland has a specific amount of meters, but it appears as though we don't. So it'd just be good to clarify, if we do we not, is that something that will be considered in future plans?
Yes. Yes. So it's really.
Odour's objective as well.
So all we can do is check what happened on this one, and then what do we need to do to tighten up going forward? Because it is Riccarton in particular, and Central City and Hornby are going to have high-rise buildings. So this will become a common issue.
Unless we get it right.
Unless we can, certainly do.
Okay. Thank you.
Much appreciated.
Very much indeed.
So are you wanting something along the lines of that the board refers the issues raised in the presentation and request staff advice on the current district plan rules relating to rubbish?
No, on the
Odour.
consent first, whether the order was
The first thing
considered.
is, I agree. The first
Was
thing is,
assessed.
was odour considered during this consent, and if not, why
The
not?
On the
assessment.
consent conditions relate,
Are they all making a long-term plan submission as well?
conditions on,
Make sure they do.
what was the address?
Not on the conditions, but on the assessment, was odor considered during the
Yes.
assessment of, of the application?
Mm. And if not, why not?
Because as Kirsten said, it was not mentioned in the consent. So, yeah.
It's good there.
Height meters away still sounds pretty close, doesn't it?
Most repetitions.
It's going to become an increasing issue, actually.
Yeah.
What was the, do you know the address, Kirsten?
Of the new development,
Yes, Air Street, do you know the name?
5-9 Air Street.
5-9, thank you.
But if it's very
Which
change.
side are you on? Are you on the
On
closest?
the northern side.
The northern
I'm
side.
on their southern boundary.
Oh, right,
it's like
okay.
Driveway, and it's just bordering.
Petitions actually enough.
Okay.
It's like half of our development is
Well, more
bordering
than enough.
theirs.
Mm.
And then there's existing houses here, and a little bit like this.
Okay.
And the rest is new development.
Are they Mike Greer homes?
Yes.
Yes, got them. So they're quite attractive. In some
It's subjective.
compared to
They do have some garages, so I think on the negative, it's probably 3 stories, or 2 stories, but
Yes.
it is infill.
Yeah.
Like, that's just what happens.
So they are reasonable homes,
Yeah, I mean, I think the
rather than some
starting at about
on the other side of Riccarton Road are very crammed in.
I think the sign said about starts at like 1 million or something. It's like, wow, they're not cheap.
And my price range.
I don't know if it's all of them or if it's just one stage because
Yes.
not cheap.
Okay, so if we could
Well, yeah, for that money.
move along
Mm.
to Margot Korhonen, who will talk to the board regarding connecting communities.
So we
In- Thank you. Are you from an
We need a
organisation?
resolution for this.
No,
No.
just myself.
We need a resolution if you want to
to
take an
refer this
action
to
to
staff.
refer this to staff.
Well, are we able
The
to
IR
allow
one.
Margot and then come back?
No, we
To
need
the-
to,
we
need to finish.
We need to
I'll
finish
just
this
quickly
item.
read it out. Margot's time hasn't started.
Okay.
So what I'm suggesting is that the board refers the issues raised in the presentation, and request staff advice on any assessment of odour on the resource consent for the development on 5-9 Air Street and any district plan rules related to rubbish storage. And multi-unit developments, is that right?
Yes, I think it's
24.
multi-unit.
Mm.
It's medium density at present too, isn't it? I think it's not high density. Could go high. This area could go high density.
If you're happy with that or any wording changes to that.
I think that's fine. Okay.
It's good.
Okay. Thank you. Now,
Mover and a seconder.
Margaret,
Happy to
do you
move.
want to move it and the seconder? Move Mark, seconded Sarah.
Thank you.
So moving along to Margot, you've done a book and you want to share
Yeah, I know
research with
it's a
us.
bit odd, but hopefully it'll make sense and I'll be really quick. So my name's Margot Korhonen. I live over in Wainoni Way and work in town and have kids in St Martin's. I am an artist. I paint murals and an author, and I work as a marketing manager at a corporate in town. And a couple of years ago, I got sick with chronic fatigue and thought I couldn't work again, and in that time sort of thought, what am I going to do? And a friend said, why don't you write about what you know? And since I was 14 years old, I've worked in community, so I've been run play centres and been part of school fundraisers and done some bike trails up in the Hiranui through Hiranui trails and just everything. I just love people, I love community, and I love seeing people invested in their area or what they're passionate about and achieving something cool for lots of other people. My motto is help more people, help more people. So I thought I'd put it all together and I wrote this book called Creating Connected Communities, which is basically a guidebook on how to run a project from beginning to end, how to deal with people, how to have a good team, how to get the most out of volunteers, how to find money, fundraising, standing in front of people like you guys, and how to market the project and then how to keep the momentum going when you're exhausted. And how to not to stress out is pretty much the byline of it. And that was my learning from all these years. Anyway, the reason I'm with you is because you guys are the community. Everyone must come to you. You must have private and people come and actually speak to you and say, I've got this idea, or come here and speak about ideas. And as part of my book, I've got all these worksheets and tools in it, which are all for free to download off my website. And that's the reason I came. If you've got someone who comes to you and has this cool idea and you think, wow, that's awesome, they're not quite ready to apply for funding, or they're just in the throes of it, please, suggest to go and have a look, because there's all these planning, fundraising, money ideas, all brainstorming, vision and mission, all worksheets are on the website, free to download. I have just applied to get the book. I only launched it 3 weeks ago. So I've asked the libraries if they would stock some copies, because I know community groups don't really have money. So if people want a copy, hopefully soon there'll be heaps of copies in the library. And that's what I just thought I'd let you know, because you are the community and it's so important that people get to know about this stuff. So
Thank you. Thank you very much, Margot. Are there any questions? Hank and Mark?
Just a very simple question, really. Is your book for sale?
Yes.
If so, where is it?
Yeah, you can buy it off me, which is how I actually make some money, through my website, which is on there, or you can buy it at Scorpio Books. And if anyone's part of a school or library, it's on Wheeler's Books, which is how they order their books, apparently. So, yeah,
Great.
So,
And Mark, you had a question?
Yeah, hey, I'd be keen for our Hornby community to get a copy of that. We've got one of the committee members sitting there, so hopefully you can hook up.
I can give you a copy and we'll figure it out. Awesome.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And
Thank you, Margot.
it's interesting, this is just a comment, that because often the groups start up and they get established and there's great energy, and then
Peter out, and that's exactly because I've found that too. And it's about setting it up properly to begin with, so you're realistic about what everyone can offer, and that one person isn't burning everything and all their energy, where they can say, hey, what's everyone's strengths, and let's utilize those strengths, because I might be really good at making phone calls, someone else might be good at driving around, and we can all use those skills and make the most out of it without one person getting completely drained. So,
Absolutely.
Great.
That's awesome.
Andre, and then Zara.
I was just wondering, have you done murals we might have seen around?
So I've got one in Hornby on the side of the Orange Order Church. There's one with all birds. It's opposite the high school. I've done that one. If you've been to Hamner Springs, under the slides, there's a big one of kids swimming under the water. That's me. Basically from Amberley all the way to Hamner, there's murals all the way along. There's a big water tank up on the hill in Waikari, that's me. I just did one on Ferry Road, and there's one at Sumner. I think I'm up to 10.
9 by 2 meters.
The biggest one I think was 40 meters.
What?
That was the
you
Ferry
did?
Road one. Yeah, I just did a 60-meter one with 2 other artists in Kaikooi. So yeah, it's really fun. I love it. That's just my absolute passion. If I could paint all day long, I would. The weather just isn't always
Mark,
right.
and we'll have to watch time.
And are you aware that your mural in the Hornby will get a whole new profile now with the Matatiki Hornby Centre across the road?
Oh, of course. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I didn't think of that.
Yes.
Cool. Well, thank you for having me.
Well, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Exciting, actually.
It is
And you're going
exciting.
around each board, are you?
That's the plan, yeah, and then hopefully the whole country. That's
Oh.
we'll see. Start somewhere. So thank you for having me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for what you're doing.
It's amazing.
That was interesting.
Very.
Thank you. Now we're on to deputations by appointment, and we have none, but we've got a presentation of a petition by Kim Moss. So Kim, if you'd like to come to the table, and you have 10 minutes. So
5.
5. Oh, someone can move an extension if you want to.
Thank you.
Kim.
Kia ora. Obviously, I'm Kim Moss. Pretty sure you all know me. And today I'm here to speak for St Bernadette School. I'm here as a parent and a representative of the school. Our school has been communicating with local residents and organisations on how to keep our tamariki safe coming to and from school, because we don't believe we have a safe pedestrian crossing. We have received over 1,000 signatures from our parents, residents, community groups and others across the city who care about child safety to ask the council and the community board to install or paint zebra pedestrian crossing outside the school. You've been provided a copy of the petition, and today I have the originals for you.
Thank you.
In conjunction with the petition that you should have received, you should have also received our formal sort of letter request, which I'm going to talk to / expand on. So our parents have knocked on at least 20 streets in the immediate area of the school, including Hay Road itself, wanting to engage with those who live in the vicinity of the school who will be most impacted should the pedestrian crossing be installed. The most frequent feedback we came across was surprise that there isn't one and that it should be mandatory outside of schools. Community organisations such as 126 on the Corner, the Salvation Army, Te Whare Whero, Hornby Community Centre, alongside other schools, early childhood centres, our parish and the Greater Hornby Residents Association all support our request, and the GHRA have put in a formal letter of support, which I think you've received as well. With the recent installation of the cycleway down Hay Road on the school side of the road, it's taken away all of the parking bar 5, roughly, for parents on the school side of the road, which is forcing our parents to park opposite the school, get the kids out, get them across the road, and at pickup time, again, parking across the road and having to go across and bring the kids over. So parents are crossing 4 times, 2 of those times are with children. Account of the signs in the vicinity of the school is shocking. We have 2 school signs, 1 on each side. 1 is old and bent. We have 14 cycleway signs outside of the school.
Yeah.
Where does the priority of our children sit as a community and the council? We don't have a school car park. We have very limited parking that's available for the teachers, and our parish next door is supportive of school safety and allows the parents to use their car park. But it's not enough to cater for the families that attend. And when there are church events, there is no parking available. I've crossed the road multiple times myself. Sometimes cars stop, sometimes they don't. If I were a child and a car stops for me, what is to stop me thinking that the next one will stop too? I step out and it doesn't stop. We acknowledge that painting zebra lines will not cause a barrier if a car chooses, not to stop, but it's about awareness that there's a school, there are children. It provides our teachers and our families the opportunity to teach our tamariki road safety. They give our pedestrians the right of way and they give our children a chance. With the opening of Matatiki, both foot traffic and motorists using the road is expected to rise significantly for users travelling to and from our newest asset, and it will further increase the chance of an accident. We have been proactive by engaging with the council, with communication with board members, and we've also met with Andrew Hensley, the traffic engineer, to discuss our concerns. And my recollection, which could be incorrect because I wasn't note-taking when I met with him, is that the cost for what we're asking for is chump change in the grand scheme of things, being a couple of thousand. Can we really put a cap on our children's lives that they aren't worth that much? So we are asking our community board to support the installation of a painted zebra crossing outside of our school, St Bernadette's on Hay Road. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, can I ask anyone who wants to move an extension of time? Mark move, Andre second. Andre, you've got your first and then Mark.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kim.
Very nice work. I don't know this area well, admittedly. How many of that school, what ages?
So there's 137 currently.
Yep.
We have capacity for 175.
Yep.
And it's year 1 to 8.
1 through 8. And so presumably there's not something like a school patrol at school time there.
We do have a care crossing.
There's care crossing, yeah.
The arms, but we don't have the capacity with the teachers and the students to man it.
Yeah.
It's such a small school.
Yeah.
We can't.
Yeah. Okay, because I was going to ask, does it kind of sometimes operate as a courtesy crossing? Some stop, some don't.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
So it's a guessing game as if they're going to stop.
It's a guessing
right?
game.
Yeah.
Prior to the cycleway being installed, there was an island in the middle of the road that pedestrians could stop on, and that was removed.
Old.
Well, yeah.
That's old.
So there's no island there anymore.
No, there is no island.
Okay.
No,
There's no
the
island
has
either.
been removed.
You could get rid of the island and put a cycle.
So,
Yeah, right. Okay.
so question from Mark, and then we'll have Hank potentially here.
Firstly, thank you so much for bringing this to us. An interesting thought that hit my mind while you were talking about the cycleway. Would you be keen to see more cycle paths spread into the community so that kids could safely connect onto that cycleway to arrive to and from school?
Depends where the kids are coming from, whether it will be safe and useful, because Hey Road is a connection to another area where they have to cross the road. And unless you have a cycleway coming right across it and some sort of stop signs or lights or anything like that to stop the traffic, because this isn't a school with zones. It's a Catholic school, so children can come from anywhere.
Thank you. Hink,
So just explain.
Hink, you wanting to ask a question? You don't have to.
No, just my suggestion before.
Well, I was just asking about.
Yes, the photos on Google are
Photos
on
and all.
nowadays.
So have you got anything there at present at all?
We've got the arms which we can use, but we don't have the children or
You
staff to
haven't
have.
got the white lines across.
No, we don't have, that's what we're asking. We just want little white lines.
White lines.
That's what we'd like, yeah.
Yes, and we had that outside St Teresa's years ago. It was quite a struggle, actually. It may not be now, but that was a long time ago. Mark?
Could we refer this to staff
Yes.
or advice?
Mm.
Not just, primarily at St Bernadette's, but I'm thinking at other primary schools in Hornby as well. I mean, one that strikes mind is South Hornby School
Yes.
on Amy's Road.
Probably not out of this petition.
No,
We can't.
Well,
No,
it was mentioned
it's one
in the-
petition, isn't it? Yes.
Other schools.
So it's a
But not in the
petition.
prayer of the petition.
Yeah, I think
Sorry.
I think if we stay with
It's right.
this one and then perhaps expand it.
But we might get a.
Yes.
We have put in our letter that another school you may wish to consider is South Hornby, because it's situated, they don't have a pool.
Okay.
So that was actually part of our request on the actual petition
Excellent.
itself is for St Bernadette's.
Okay,
We can include
Very
that.
good.
Yeah.
so we can
That's
ask.
the prayer. But it doesn't matter.
Yeah, other than.
Now, just in terms of process,
Well done,
can I
Councillor.
just check? It gets moved to council. Does the Hornby council move a petition?
Does
No,
not
it
go to
doesn't.
council, this will be a community board.
Yeah, just
Oh, it's just here, okay.
so somebody
Okay.
now can move it.
Happy to move it.
Yeah, move it.
So what I've got is I've got refers the issues raised in the petition to staff for investigation and report to the board.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's Mark and
Hank.
Thank you. And in terms of speaking
We
to
need
it
a
at
vote.
council, would it be our role?
We don't speak
It
to
won't go
the
to council.
council.
This is
No,
a
but
purely-
once we go in once a month, would it be our
It
role
could get the area.
to bring it up? Yeah. Which
And the
are
word presentation.
board.
is-
We can add it to the
is
board.
asked.
the board
yes,
presentation.
just say that we've received
Yeah.
the petition. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So we need a
Okay.
vote on that. It's been moved by Mark and seconded by him.
Almost.
All those in
Let-
favour, say aye.
Aye.
Against, carried.
Woohoo.
Thank you, Kim.
Thank you, Kim.
Thank you, Kim.
Thank you.
Well done, good work.
Now, we've got correspondence. Does anyone have any questions? Otherwise, I'll have a mover and seconder, please.
Here we go.
Moved by Mark, seconded
Second.
by Marie. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against, carried. Thank you. Thank you for coming in. Thank you. Staff reports. Now, Sam, thank you.
Yeah, I'll take the report as
Thank you.
if no one has any questions.
Any questions? We're granting money to the Hornby Netball Club and we're transferring money to the Youth Development Fund, which always happens. So
Happy to move.
Mark move, Henk second. Yes. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against. Carried.
You did that well.
Now, Jess, would you like to take it?
Yes, I will speak to
Moved
the
on.
area
Report,
report. I'd
thank
like
you.
to go over a few things that have been going on.
Want to move something today, in fact.
So firstly, I just want to give a big shout out to my team who held a funding workshop for people in the community to come and ask questions and learn about strengthening communities funding.
was actually so well attended. They had put on a second one, which was
Oh,
fantastic.
good. Good.
And Marie has been running pop-in sessions. So shifting to LTP now, she's been holding LTP sessions for people to come in and ask questions around LTP engagement. You've all got access to the live calendar of engagement opportunities where you can go out. So if you have any questions about that, you can just ask the team, but that's all been going really well. And also we had a really successful Children's Day. I think a few people got out and attended that, which was great. So thank you everyone who came out and celebrated that, and had over 16,000 people in attendance, which was really cool. And this weekend we've got Eid happening at the Multicultural Centre. So if you're around on the weekend, might be good to go and check that out. So yes.
Is that a free event?
Yes. Might be
Sorry.
$10. $10.
$10.
Yeah, $10. Thank you. Coming up, we've got Anzac Day. So there's a range of local services being held in our ward. I'll just go over these ones. Jane Dean's Close in Riccarton at 9 a.m. The Halswell Anzac service, which is adjacent to the Halswell domain, at 9 a.m. The Hornby Anzac service, so that's at the grounds of Hornby Primary School, Waterloo Road, 9 a.m. UC, the University of Canterbury, 10 a.m. Templeton Anzac service, 11 a.m. and Wigram Anzac service at 12 o'clock. And so coming back, just reminded that the board will be meeting next week for its to talk on its submission to the long-term plan. So a reminder that this will be live streamed. So there'll be a discussion between staff, the governance team and the board Tuesday at 1 p.m. So we'll advertise that. That will be live streamed. So we'll come prepared as well. And then Thursday, 4 p.m, we'll be kicking off with 4 sessions of briefings, which will also be live streamed. First one, Bruce Rendell to talk about the Hornby Master Plan and where that sits in the long-term plan. Then we'll have 3 sessions back-to-back with Parks, 3 Waters and the Transport team.
Oh, that's good, 3 Waters.
Yes. So they've all had access to the board's submission on the LTP and its priorities, so they will come together. And so if you have any questions, they'll have 30 minutes each.
It's also live streamed?
Yes.
Right.
Also live streamed.
Good.
Yeah. So that agenda will go out tomorrow, I think.
Thursday usually goes out on Monday.
Monday. So the agenda will go out for that and just
Tomorrow or
4
Monday.
p.m. or a 4:30
4
start?
p.m.
4 p.m.
At 4 p.m.
For
So
briefing.
there'll be 4 briefings back to back.
Yep.
So have your coffee.
That's good. And the 3 Waters is particularly interesting, I think, because it's a shift. It's a shift. So, yes.
Parks is always good too.
So,
A couple more things from me. Just a reminder, the Matatiki Hornby Centre will be opening Friday, the 19th of April. It was great to see a lot of the board at the official blessing on the 2nd of April. Yeah. And the Golding Avenue Library officially closed on Thursday, the 28th of March, for the shift to the Matatiki. And a couple more things. Yes. One moment. And also Better Off funding. We are ready to progress with a few more projects that we've had in the works. So we'll be sending, I'll be sending out a memo to the board to update you on those projects and get your feedback before we bring that for the next board meeting. Next one. Great. Sorry for that long-winded, but I wanted to make sure everyone was up to date.
so any questions? I'm sure there's some questions.
But yeah, we've some great community events have been happening lately, which
are in the area report, and we'll profile at the next council meeting in our presentation.
When is that scheduled for?
Next council meeting is, the date escapes me.
1st of May.
Could be.
Yes, first of May.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? No?
There's one just not related necessarily to any of that, but just in the graffiti report, there's a mural that's by Melissa, and is that has she physically done that somewhere for us to go and see it?
Yep,
Whereabouts is it?
Westlake Drive.
Oh, I thought that was, so it's at 14 Westlake Drive.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it on a?
It's on, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I like it. My minimalist design is to show how our lives looked during the period of COVID where we spent most of our time at our comfort home. And she's just got a pretty picture of windows and people. Anyway.
And that one is 8 houses down from where I grew up.
There you go.
Cool, okay.
In case you're wondering. Sorry, 12 houses, 6 houses,
Obviously,
8
the first thing
houses.
that comes to
In
mind.
case you're wondering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We would do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so look, I'm just process going on to elected members' information exchange. I'm going to ask for a small break of about four minutes.
Can we
As I-
just receive that report?
Yeah, we need to
Sorry,
receive
Helen.
Move Mark,
Mark.
seconded Marie. Thank you, Jess, for that. All those in favour say aye.
Right.
Against, carried. Just going to have a small break. I need to talk to Matt over there just for 3 minutes. I've been trying to get hold of him, and then we'll go into elected members exchange, and then we'll have the prayer to
It does.
Yeah.
Now, we'll,
Well, I'll just say continue trying what you're doing locally.
we,
And it never hurts for us
Elected
to go
members.
see who shows up.
information exchange. Yes, Mark.
Happy to kick off. For those who aren't aware, there's a Hornby Market Day on Saturday at South Hornby School, and there will be a stand there. I think it's an official board stand, I think, Jess. Is that how it is, or?
I believe so.
Yeah. So I'll catch up with you
Yeah,
after the meeting.
yeah.
And then there's a community day at the Maratiki Hornby Centre on the 20th, the following Saturday. And I know myself, I'll be there all day on the Rotary stand. But I guess if any board members want to be there to finish off the final consulting for the LTP, it's the last day before it closes, so it's not a bad time. I went along recently to the inaugural meeting of the Hornby Lions. Just turned up at the end of their meeting. They meet next door to the Hornby Rotary. And fascinating group of gentlemen who are keen to start doing stuff, and ladies, keen to start doing stuff in our Hornby community. There's already a Wigram and a Wigram Skies Lions groups, and now they're looking to form a Hornby Lions group, which I think is a real fantastic opportunity. So anyway, we can support them as a board, that would be appreciated. And one of the things that was interesting there was a visiting lion from Nelson, who their club has one of their members up there who has got some expertise in designing skate parks, and they've got a project on up there where they're building a Olympic standard skate park through the Lions Club. And I suggest that maybe they want to think about the Waikola skate park and bring some of that expertise across to help potentially. So we'll see where that leads. Then just today, I've been on an urban forests conference field trip, which was really interesting, networking with a lot of people who work in the park space and the sort of forestation space. And we visited a site up in the Styx River and got talking there with one of the council staff on there, and he sounds quite interested in looking to connect with our Hornby bush and see if there's ways that we can start working towards helping to get that off the ground and establish the Hornby bush. So these days out on field trips can actually be really beneficial to make some linkages. And I did hear from Marie Byrne before the meeting that there's a LTP stand in the hub now, which is great, on the blank shop frontages. So that's something for us, I guess, as local members and even neighbouring members to pop in and look at talking to people there about the LTP from time to time, and then the community of people want to be aware of it too. There's some brochures there, a quick guide, and it's a good place to engage and let people know we need to hear from them around the LTP. So that pretty well covers my lot.
Andre.
It's been quite busy. There's been a few hundred new subdivisions going on in Halswell, which is making me quite busy, I'm finding out. At the moment, Sparks Road is closed, or one lane on Sparks Road is closed. It's not going well and it's causing a bit of grief. So what we're looking into at the moment is whether the lane direction can be changed and to cater for morning peak hour traffic and afternoon peak hour traffic. Maybe it's possible, maybe it's not. It's being investigated, and that would go a long way to providing some relief around those peak times if it can. That work is going to take another couple of months. It's water mains and they're not done quick. It's diverting a lot of traffic onto Cashmere Road, which I've brought here a few times, which has no footpath on it. So it's a huge safety risk for people trying to walk around there with no footpath. The speed limit will change there fairly soon. But I'd note that with a lot more work on Halswell Road and Sparks Road to come over the next couple of years, it's actually going to increase the risk onto Cashmere Road. So the speed change is part of the puzzle, but one piece of it. I joined the school patrol at the Halswell Road, Larson's Road intersection a couple of weeks ago, and it's chaos there every morning, it's chaos there every afternoon. It is, of course, a state highway, but the no right turn sign is council sign. That's on Larson's Road, which is our road. But a lot of people don't pay any attention to the no right turn sign and try to turn right onto Halswell Road anyway, or they don't see the sign because it's way back away from the road. So my next step is I've requested a meeting with the NZTA and the local MP, Vanessa Winnick, and look forward to meeting with them on site along with our council traffic engineers, because it will take some cooperation from us. Not sure what the solution will be, but the status quo is not a long-term solution. It is carnage around there. I've been hosting some public meetings about our long-term plan and growth in Halswell. We had 40 people along to each of the two so far, and then we've got another meeting Wednesday next week. Marie has been at both of them. You come to the third as well. Nice one. That'll be even more exciting, I reckon. But yeah, really good turnouts. I was expecting maybe 10, 20 at each of them. We've had more than double that. So looking forward to see what we get next Wednesday. Lots of really good questions. And a lot of interest in the local stuff. And by the time we've got to the wider aspect of the Christchurch-wide plan, we've already covered, an hour and a half. So there's that much going on in Halswell. Makes for a busy meeting. Lastly, some very exciting news. The Halswell Community Patrol is now an official registered charity, which is quite a big step in the right direction.
Good.
And the Halswell BP have offered a car park for a new Community Patrol car, which is another very exciting step in the right direction. That'll be a very visible spot. So people aren't going to be able to come into little old Halswell without being well aware that there is a Halswell Community Patrol. And if you want to get up to any mischief, you better turn around.
And head to Hornby.
They've also got a community patrol car. Exactly. And if you want to go back up Lincoln Road, you'll see their community patrol car on the Z. So yeah, that's very exciting. There's a new chairperson, Alvin, who is very, very, very impressive. And hopefully they're able to get all their ducks in a row, and there'll be a patrol car on the road this year, ideally. That's all for me.
Don't you want to mention the one this afternoon?
Oh, yeah, me and Marie went to Kilmarnock Enterprises this afternoon, which helps provide employment opportunities for those intellectual disabilities. And I couldn't believe all the products they're manufacturing there.
Mm-hmm.
Got to see.
Amazing, isn't it?
Amazing.
Yeah. I hadn't visited it before. I was particularly fascinated by soft plastic recycling. So it goes from New World. And I got to see a great big stack of great big bags of soft plastics, all condensed down to make big tons of the stuff. So it goes from New World down the road to Wigram to get compressed. Yeah, as we fascinating.
Are they still doing televisions? I don't think they are.
Yes,
Yeah.
they are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to see all the electronic stuff that gets dismantled,
Yeah.
every bit gets recycled, and I had absolutely no idea when people drop their stuff off, where does it go after that? Today I learned exactly where it goes, what it looks like. They've also got a scheme that takes things from salons, so they can help recycle the products, the containers they come in, and here, which can get turned into other products. So all the big bags of here. Yep, yeah, makes all sorts of stuff. I learned a lot on their visit, and they'll happily show other board members around as well.
Cool.
Highly recommend if you haven't been there to visit. Yeah.
Did they talk to you about the crossing problem they have out the front?
Yeah, good question. They said that the speed limit changes have helped, as well as the white line down the middle of the road has made a considerable difference, which is good to hear. Yeah.
They could do more, is what they said.
Yeah, there could always be more to be done. Their workers are required to wear high vis if they are crossing the road, for example.
Because their workers are just disabled intellectually or physically, so very dangerous. Yeah.
Can I ask a question? What are themes coming from the LTP meetings?
Well,
The top three issues?
Well, it's all about growth in Halswell, right? It's what's happening here and when will this footpath get filled in, or when will this intersection be open?
So
These kinds of
practical
questions.
issues they're coming up with.
Oh, well, it's
Are
great.
they coming up with rates too high or anything like that? Or?
We're literally able to fill an hour and a half with just questions about Halswell easily. I touch on the wider plan as well, and rates come into it. But there's so much going on in Halswell.
About what? So it's more about practical issues.
Yeah, it's hey, when are we getting this school? When are we getting this high school? Or are we not getting a high school? It's when is the Woolworths development going ahead?
Okay, thank you.
When we finally pass along Halswell Road? These kinds of questions.
Okay.
Yeah, so I basically had a PowerPoint slideshow, 30, 40 slides or so, just giving updates on this is what's going to happen here, this is what's happening here, this is what I know about schools, not from the ministry, I might not be able to answer all questions, but this is what I know so far. And yeah, the feedback I've had is that people have gotten a lot out of it. And yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
You've done 3 of you good.
Well, two so far, and the last one next week.
That's right.
But I'll do more of them in future as well.
Yeah, I think
They seem to have been quite
I'll come to
useful.
one next week.
Yeah.
If I can, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just add one
yes,
thing.
Sarah.
Just when you talk about Kilmarnock Enterprises, I went to a workshop called Wasted with Kate. She's based, I think it's in the North Island, and she's contracted by the council to run workshops around recycling and waste, and she gives little packs, like a $40 value. It costs $10 for a ticket. But it's interesting because she talked a lot about soft plastics and how it's not necessarily being made into things that we thought they were being made into. But I don't know that she has an awareness of perhaps Kilmarnock Enterprises and yeah.
Well, if the soft plastics go into the bin at New World, it goes to something somewhere, but it's not a perfect. It's far from a perfect solution.
Yeah,
They can't truly be recycled into being used again. It might get turned into like a fence post
Yeah.
and this kind of thing. Yeah.
Well, it was really interesting, and it helped me understand a lot better about why it's so important that our recycling is cleaned, and why important that we don't include the lids in our recycling, and lots of other things that I just kind of know, but I'm perhaps a little bit, flippant with. And I just wonder if there'd be any allowance for either a visit to, well, no, that's Cape Valley. Not Cape Valley.
100%. They'll show us 300.
Well, I know. Well, I have been there myself, but just as extra awareness that we can promote to our communities around waste. I'm really conscious of the amount of waste that we're making, and why it's so important that we make sure it's only the green goes into the green, and just those extra reminders. Yeah, that's me.
Okay, thank you. Now, Debbie. Are you there, Debbie?
Yes, I am. Thank you, Helen. Yes, just going back to the Kilmarnock Enterprises, it's an absolutely wonderful place to see, and they're just so happy in their work and so very productive. Sparks Road, yes, concur with what Andre said. I'm fielding a lot of calls in regards to that matter, and obviously diversion, Cashmere and Henderson's, of which I can see outside my window, and it's still queued up right down the road and is for some time. I had contacted the people that are dealing with the traffic management, which isn't the council, it's sourced out. So I did make a suggestion, and it's going to planning. But I've subsequently put an alternative route on Facebook, which is to divert traffic off Henderson's and through the subdivisions, as long as it's not heavy traffic, which may or may not be helping, I'm not sure. So yes, that's unfortunate that a lot of people are calling me about that. That's probably the most thing, that's the most I've been called about in regards to diversions of traffic in my 10 years actually, but there is a lot going on, and just received notice today also that they are going to be working on Horsell Road between Dunbars and Curlitz, doing testing to the conditions, potholing to test the ground conditions. So this is going to add to further traffic issues in and around Horsell. It is becoming a bit of a guess how to get anywhere type of situation at the moment in Horsell. So we'll just see what eventuates there.
And that's 2 years of Horsell roadworks as well.
Thank
That's
you.
going to be really tough.
I know, right? I know. And I must admit, I know it's frustrating for people. And I know that I sit and think, we'll take a cup of coffee, put some good music on, and have some kind of
moment.
Well, another way to fill in your time, really, other than not using your cell phone, you know, because people are in long queues, and especially down Henderson's Road, you've got buses that are sitting there for good 10, 15, 20 minutes, ambulances trying to get in and out, you know, so it is really, really difficult, really difficult.
Debbie, just one other point. It sounds like the Aidenfield Drive, Halsey Road intersection work will get underway pretty soon, and presumably that may well get underway before Sparks Road is fully open. So this poses a sort of, you know, an additional challenge here. Yeah, so it's something we need to manage.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Now,
thanks for that update, Andre.
thank you. Just in terms of Riccarton, the independent hearings panel is starting up again on Riccarton and Hornby, starting up again on the 15th of April, and we're down to do a presentation on 8 topics in 15 minutes on the 24th. So we'll have to cut back how many topics, but the 2 that stand out are there's probably 3, but one is the airport noise control. The second one is the interface with the industrial sector. And there's another one there. There's about 3, and we're supporting council's position that the developers are trying to push back on the whole. So I think, I know, in view of the weight of evidence, I think that council is likely to come through on that. But and we're just a very small part of that. Just to make sure people are clear too, where the government is on this is that medium density is still under review by councils, and councils can have more choice about medium density, but there's still high density around shopping commercial centres. So you've got Westfield Mall, Riccarton, the Bush-in Centre, and Hornby. So that they're very impacted. Our ward in particular, other than Halswell, is very impacted by high density. And it will depend really, I think, whether there's qualifying matters that allow some areas to be not included in high density. I think it's very unclear to, in fact, the public, and we should probably put something on our community news about it, something short.
Have they decided what distance from the shopping centre?
The council's arguing for 800 metres
starting from
the centre.
Okay.
But if you can add something, Marie, yes. I don't know, as a technical.
Just clarification, because you mentioned not Halswell. I believe Halswell will also be included or affected because there's a key activity centre.
Well, I mean, around the new Woolworths development,
yes.
but that is an area that hasn't been built on, so it's not places that will be getting built beside existing homes.
And I've always said to Andre, I've never really included Halswell because it's Hornby and Riccarton residents who are up in arms about it.
Well,
it's not Halswell.
Well, this and Halswell won't impact any neighbours because there's currently no neighbours. But there will be some over the Halswell Commons area, which would be very, very close. If it was impacting anyone, it'd be there. But as far as I'm aware, the likely developers don't seem or sound particularly interested in high or medium density housing.
I can't see it in the short term.
And we did have some
even medium term.
We did have some calls before from residents in Halswell Commons. Who
are concerned about it. Absolutely. I'd struggle to see much popping up around there in the way of high or medium density. And of course, once new homes are built there, well, that's going to be there for a long time. They're not getting bowled over and replaced with anything for a long, long time to come. So, so some high density around the Woolworths development would make a lot of sense if that's where infrastructure is going. Oh yeah. No neighbours.
And certainly your community's mixed on this issue. I've never been to a meeting where there's it's frustration and anger.
Well, because Halswell's mostly new areas now, that you could put MDRS rules in, and no one's going to go bowl a new home with $1 million to replace with something. So most of these new areas would not have any of this in their street, basically. The only areas that it would impact potentially some parts of Halswell with the big sections around Oaklands, it could. But the rest of the areas, well, it wouldn't touch them. So
and the interesting thing when we had this issue on the state housing, the interesting thing about the people who came in there, they kept complaining about 2 stories going up. And we found out during the process that's because their development had only allowed them to have 1 story.
Yeah.
Because I kept saying to them it could be 3. and in the end, I recognised why they were concerned.
Yeah.
Has that settled down?
Well, Kainga have made some changes, which I believe has been well received. I mean, what needs to be done now to help build trust with that area is we need a safe crossing point on Halswell Junction Road to be able to get kids to school safely. Because when a child has been hit by a car, they're trying to get to school, and we've got more and more people moving into the area, and there's still no safe crossing. The residents should feel that their family is safe to cross the road to the school or playground. So that's I think one of the next important steps here. And some around there would be absolutely delighted to fence dog park nearby too as well, I would add.
So you've talked to Marie for our long-term plan discussion. We need to get the projects that we advocate for have to be aligned with councillors concerned. Otherwise, it won't go anywhere. It'll just die dead. So we need to have the top 2 for each ward, I think, which the councillors want to push.
Well, which we already have in our community.
And we're having our meeting on Tuesday at 1 o'clock. Okay.
Great.
Thank you. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to ask our 2 staff to leave, and we're going to have a discussion with Matt and Mary. If you, thank you very much.
Are you leaving me online, Helen?
Oh yes, definitely, yes. Thank you.
Live stream's still going.
Okay, thank you.
Only if you behave yourself, Debbie.
Yes, otherwise you'll be zoomed out.
Yeah. We'll cut the wire.
Is the live stream still on?
Yes.
Oh.
Now, can I just start before there's been a bit of a miscommunication between Matt and me, but I just want to advise people I'm moving house and it's quite stressful. And on top of, and I'd had hoped that we could put things off a bit, but Mary and Matt said no. So this is public, but it's really, I'd like it to be kept confidential at this point. Happy to have media inquiries on Monday.
How do we do that?
Live stream's
We
still on.
can't, no,
Live stream's still on.
it's still on.
Yeah, yes, there's a
Does-
public
Yeah,
meeting.
but Helen, there's only me on. There's no one else on.
Are you sure other people can't tune in?
No, they're watching they're just watching.
And we can't
No.
turn it off because it's.
No, I think it's best off actually.
No.
Why not?
So what do we
Okay, so shall I just select?
Well,
Will this not appear in the live stream later though?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Right,
No,
so shall I FaceTime in through Marie's phone or something?
No, you're fine.
No, can I say, look, it's my meeting at present still. I would like this not live streamed.
It is live streamed.
Well, then how in fact do we stop that? I'm happy to have a discussion with Mary and Matt, and I'm happy for everyone to share that, including Debbie, but I'm not, it needs to be more confidential at this stage.
I'm
So
not sure this ground.
is someone able to handle?
There's no grounds for public excluded.
Okay, well,
So it has to be open.
well, I think I'll conclude the meeting then with the prayer. And well, I can't.
So-
We have to find a way through this. Which
What's it pertaining to, Helen?
could come back to having it live streamed. I'm not saying, but I want a discussion first.
Take an adjournment.
Can we
So we can adjourn
I'll
the meeting
I'll
for
adjourn the meeting for
2 minutes.
10 minutes only.
2 minutes.
Thank you.
Oh, so hang on. So we're still live streamed.
Yes.
Yeah, they'll come in
Yes. Thank you.
and
So Marie, can you just FaceTime me in through your phone?
But you can stay on the Zoom.
Yes,
Okay.
It's just not live stream.
Yep.
thank you.
Okay, okay, righto, okay.
We're just waiting for
Just wait
staff
for
to come in to turn off the live stream.
Okay.